feeling like I'm Akademiks. Can't ride no.
Okay, so here we go. This year's top artists, and this is the highest paid musicians of 2025, a good old pocket watch, and let's get into it. Says, in a year where Beyonce became a billionaire, yes, she was certified as a billionaire not too long ago, and another billionaire pop super heroine, Taylor Swift, entered her engagement era with Kansas City Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce. Last year, the 35-year-old pop star announced, that's the weekend, he was selling a stake in his existing catalog for a deal reported to be worth $1 billion. It is not, however, a traditional catalog sale. He will retain stake in his existing master recordings covering the entire 6-album discography and have creative control over their usage. Any future recordings are not included, while the majority of the deal is made up of debt, which insiders may believe is convertible to equity. Forbes estimates that he will pocket around $20 million after fees. Okay, cool. Let's get into the highest paid musicians of 2025. And starting at number one, and I wish they started at the end of the list, we have The Weeknd. Not Friday, not Saturday, not Sunday. We're talking about the entire weekend. He's set to be earning $298 million, okay? The Weeknd released his 6th album, Hurry Up Tomorrow, in January, debuting at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart, which did 490,500 albums, and it was sold in the first week. After pre-selling his 2026 show tickets in November, his After Hours Till Dawn tour surpassed $1 billion in gross revenue, making it one of the only 3 tours in history to hit 10 figures and become the highest earning tour by a solo male artist. He pocketed estimatedly $77 million in profits from more than 40 shows he played in 2025. Huh? Wait, hold on. That sounds crazy. Okay. Now I know Forbes does their fact checking, but that does sound crazy. His tour made $1 billion and he only profited $77 million in profits? Now that, what? Okay. Cash, Sal, somebody at EXO, please give me some further guidance on this. Because I'm going to be honest, if a fucking tour makes $1 billion, it's no way the lead guy of the tour makes only $77 million in profit. That sounds ridiculous. So you're telling me my profit is less than, my profit as the guy who's the main face and the name whose tour it is, I make less than 10% of the gross revenue? I would think, I would have thought it would have been more than half a billion. If it's $1 billion in gross revenue, I would think it would net at least 400 or 500 million in profits. Then Weeknd would be taking home 150 to 200 at least. But 77 sounds crazy. Wow. And they're basically saying his deal with Lyric Capital is the thing that really made sure he's number one. So he's at 298. He's at 298. 77 comes from his tour, and over 200 million comes from the other deal. Okay, so we got Taylor Swift, and yes, Taylor Swift. Bet Maurice, hit me personally, bro. Taylor Swift made 202 million. Wow, let's read about how her year was. How do you top the record-breaking Eras Tour of 2024? How about with the number 1 album following the next year? Despite being released in October, Swift's 12th studio album, Life of a Showgirl, broke all sorts of records for 2025, including the biggest first-week sales in music history, surpassing 5.5 billion global album equivalent units and dethroning Adele's 25s. Damn. Wait, she sold over 5.5 billion global album equivalent units the first week? Wow. Not billion, million, I mean. Dethroning Adele's 25. What was Adele's 25's number? Oh, she did 3.5 globally, right? No, Billboard said that. What was it globally? Let's see, global. Why does it say global? Because Billboard really counts for the U.S., or usually they report mostly for the U.S. Okay, we'll get into that another time. All right, anyway. Swift also struck a streaming deal with Disney Plus for the rights of the final show of the Eras Tour and the 6-episode behind-the-scenes docuseries, to which Forbes estimates she took in about $80 million after fees. Wow. So for a docuseries with Disney Plus, she took in $80 million. Oh, my God. After fees, which means that should have been a big-ass deal. God damn, she's caking. All told, Swift's catalog of 16 albums, including 4 re-recordings, earned her the number 2 spot on the list, just behind Bad Bunny. Wow. So basically, she was number 2 behind Bad Bunny in global streams. So basically, they're saying $80 million came from this docuseries she did, but the rest came from, she didn't even do a big tour this 2025. Her Eras tour ended in 2024. They're basically saying from catalog. Now, here's the difference between Taylor Swift and a lot of other people, and you're going to see with Bad Bunny, because he's probably going to be up somewhere on this, is that Taylor Swift owns her masters. And Taylor Swift owns the majority of like her catalog because she got her masters back. So that's why just her doing good, she don't need to necessarily tour as much. In a year, this is her off year for touring. Let's look at the Eras tour. Eras tour dates. The Eras tour, it started in hold on. It started in March 17th, 2023, ended in December 8th. So she didn't do a tour in 2025, but despite that, she still made over $200 million. And basically what this is saying is that she made over $100 million from her music, just catalog, streaming, and selling shit. Why? She owns her masters. Wow. Impressive. I love that for her. Beyonce's number 3. She made $148 million. Let's listen to this. In April, Queen Bee hit the road for the 32-show Cowboy Carter tour, which brought in revenue of $407 million to become the highest-grossing tour in Billboard box score history. What? Oh, country tour. Okay. The fastest ever to cross $400 million. A groundbreaking strategy, Beyonce opted for a mini residency format, playing only 9 cities and setting a record for the highest venue for a female artist at SoFi in Los Angeles. All that success was enough to make her a billionaire this year. She now joins other 4 musicians with 10-figure fortunes. Swift. So these are the billionaire artists: Swift, Rihanna, Bruce Springsteen, and of course her husband Jay-Z. Kanye was once on that list. He's no longer there anymore. Now, I do want to say this and be very fair. Drake is supposed to be on this list higher. And if you ask me, Drake is supposed to be either right behind The Weeknd or above The Weeknd. And I'm going to give you some, and I know some people will be like, you're just riding Drake's dick. Forbes is taking what's reported and what they could quantify. I just know from, not from Drake, but from my sources, Drake signed a $180 million gambling deal, which he's not going to want to report to Forbes. Right? He's not going to show Forbes the financials behind a gambling deal. So his stake deal for 2025 was $180 million. That'll really, or maybe they don't count that. Okay, maybe, all right, never mind. I might be wrong then. Maybe they don't count non-music things, right? Are they talking about non-music things for, yeah, okay. Scratch it from the record. Sorry, I'm wrong. Because I haven't read through the Weeknd stuff. Even when they're talking about his catalog, they're still talking about music. They're talking about his tour. They're still talking about music with Taylor Swift. They're talking about her music sales. They're talking about music. So they're not talking about really how much money these people have earned. They're talking about musicians, highest paid musicians, and what they do with music. Drake's gambling deal got nothing to do with that. So got you. Sorry. My apologies. Cool. So it all makes sense. So yes, this list looks pretty accurate if we're only going off music. Kendrick Lamar makes $109 million. The top earning rapper of 2025. Lamar started this year by headlining the Super Bowl in New Orleans, attracting 133.5 million viewers. He used this occasion to perform his hit diss song, "Not Like Us." It's actually unfortunate. They always got to bring up the song, right? Aimed at the 7th highest paid musician, Drake. Yo, Forbes is so messy. They try to be like, he used his big shows to take aim at the 7th highest paid guy. We'll get to it. The show reignited enthusiasm for Kendrick Lamar's 2024 album, GNX, which became the first hip-hop album to sell over 1 million units in the U.S. in 2025. Then in April, he kicked off the Grand National Tour with co-headlining SZA, who was number 20th on this list, and brought in $358.7 million and is now the highest grossing co-billed tour in history, dethroning Jay-Z and Beyonce's 2018 concert tour. 5, we have Coldplay, 105. We don't need to read how they made their money. Shakira is number 6, 105. We don't need to know that. But Drake comes in at $78 million at number 7, and we'll read how they claim he made his money. Having begun the year touring in Australia and New Zealand, Drake released a collaborative album, Some Sexy Songs For You, on Valentine's Day. By the way, let's look at the It's a Blur tour. I don't think Drake didn't tour this year, right? It's a Blur tour. When did that end? I believe that ended before this year. Yeah, that ended in 2024, if you guys don't know. So Drake didn't he didn't do a tour this year like Taylor Swift didn't either, right? So The Weeknd did a tour. Right? Yeah, obviously I went to it. The Weeknd did a tour. Beyonce did a tour. But Drake didn't do a tour, nor Taylor. So they're making money off music royalties, or if they do any deals related to catalog sale, or maybe some documentaries related to music. Okay, so Drake drops Some Sexy Song For You on Valentine's Day with fellow Canadian artist Party Next Door. He hit the road again to promote it in July. He played more than 40 shows across 2 tours in 2025. Oh, they say he did 2 tours. What? Drake tours in 2025. It's a Blur wasn't there. Oh, he did the Anita Maxwin tour. I forgot. These were these international dates that, I don't know. For whatever reason, I guess because it wasn't in the United States, it didn't hit the same, at least for me. So he did the Anita Maxwin tour, which was Australia, New Zealand's 12 shows. He did a Some Sexy Songs For You tour, which was in Europe. They did Wireless, Birmingham, Manchester, Germany, and he did OVO Fest, which was, I think he said it wasn't OVO Fest, it was just Vibes Cartel, but that was in Toronto. Wow, they're counting Vibes Cartel shows as his tours? Okay, whatever. And then it's estimated about $30 million for his shows. Okay, cool. He took home close to about $50 million in streaming revenue, and I think that would be probably one of the biggest takeaways this year. Him and Taylor are probably up there. Maybe Bad Bunny. We got to see where Bad Bunny lies. But him, Taylor, Bad Bunny, and just streaming revenue, they probably ate good. Bad Bunny's probably 1. Bad Bunny's probably 1. Maybe Drake 2, or maybe Taylor 2. Then Drake probably 3. That's definitely the top 3. Okay, he took home close to $50 million in streaming revenue from his 8-album catalog, which Forbes estimated as the second highest. Okay, second. Oh, I get the answer right here. Second highest catalog on the list behind Taylor Swift. So, yeah, he's earning a lot of money via catalog. Bad Bunny, though, in terms of current streams, Bad Bunny was a leading global artist in streaming, I will say. Chris Brown makes $74 million, and we'll read how he made that. 36-year-old Chris Brown started the year off by earning his second Grammy Award, his first in 13 years for 1111 Deluxe in the Best R&B Album category. In October, he wrapped the Breezy Bowl Stadium Tour, a career spanning 20th anniversary, which grossed $285 million in 4 months. Forbes estimates that Brown earned close to $60 million from the historic run. Wow. So we get to realize, a lot of times, well, still, this is even better. Remember, The Weeknd supposedly grossed or netted $77 million from $1 billion. At least Chris Brown earned $60 million from less than 300. So he gained at least 1/5. They're saying The Weeknd gained less than 1/10, which is a little bit crazy. But maybe it's the overhead, the production, all that. Who knows, right? With another $13 million coming in from royalties and an estimated 5.2 million album equivalent units he sold this year. Zach Bryan does $70 million. Bad Bunny did 66. Let's read how he did it. Bad Bunny was crowned as Spotify Global Top Artist for the 4th year this time, and with 19.8 billion streams. Forbes estimates that these sales filled the king of Latin traps Coffers with just shy of $30 million. So, yeah, he made $30 million. Drake made 50 and looked like Taylor made 80. So, Taylor made 80 in we don't know if it's 80. It's between Drake made 50 in streaming. Taylor made 80 from streaming and sales. We got to imagine at least 50 from streaming. And then, she does a lot on sales because she puts out these bundles and sells vinyls and all that type of stuff. Anyway, cool. Let's get back to reading Bad Bunny. So he makes $30 million from streaming, but the majority of the 31-year-old superstar's estimated 2025 earnings, about $40 million, came from the more than 30 shows he played this year in a blockbuster residency in his native Puerto Rico. which aptly named the No Me Quiero Ir de Aquí, which means I don't want to leave here. In addition to a role that arguably stole. Wait, he played 30 shows. What? He played 30 shows in Puerto Rico? Or I thought it was just in Hispanic countries. Let me see. No way. Oh my God. All right, let's get back to English. Oh my God. Could we translate? Could we translate this motherfucker? Okay, you know, I could just see the dates. Oh wow, he really did 30 days in Puerto Rico. So people had to go to Puerto Rico to see him. Wow, he probably rose the GDP. Obviously, it's not a country; it's a territory of the United States. But he probably raised the economy there. Wow, holy shit! Salute to Bad Bunny. Wow, 30 shows in Puerto Rico and sold all of them out. And I think all of them were at the stadium, right? This is a stadium, I believe. Jesus Christ, can we get back to English? I mean, holy. Come on. Can we get back to English? Jesus. Well, I know a little bit of, yeah, Estadio. Estadio is, I believe, stadium. So this is a stadium they did it in. Wow, 30 stadiums tour in one island. Wow, that's crazy. Post Malone comes in at 62, and he did a tour called the Big Ass Stadium Tour, which he made almost $200 million. And they're claiming he did a sold out performance with 65,000 that's singing happy birthday to him. They're saying he took about $50 million as profits from his tour. Ed Sheeran, $60 million. Tyler, the Creator, 53. Let's see how he made it. He had the second highest gross in rap tour of the year behind Kendrick, bringing in $174 million across nearly 100 shows. He surprised fans with the release of his ninth album, Don't Tap the Glass, 9 months after he dropped Chromacopia. He announced a new album 3 days before its release, selling $5 a ticket to the listening party and 197,000 equivalent units, landing at number 1 spot. Forbes estimates that the 34-year-old performer will have sold 9.75 million album units globally across his discography, generating about $25 million in net royalties. We got Metallica at 14 with 53 million. By the way, I remember looking at this list decades ago. Like 20 million was a lot. These days, these guys are like 200 million, right? Like, look, 2010 highest paid musicians Forbes. And remember, this is why I was saying that I think Lil Baby has more money than Outkast, because let's not even go. Let's go with 2005. Let's go 2005. Highest paid musicians Forbes, right? When we go there, you're gonna see the precipitous drop off. Like, obviously, Rolling Stones, they were doing a crazy tour. Then U2, there's a bunch of these type of tours that were doing that. But then you're gonna see most artists in the 50 million and below range. Like, we're on this list at 15. So like, in the top 5, 50 million will get you in the top 5 in 2005, right? In 2025, 50 million gets you at 15, not the top 5, just to show you how much money these are. By the way, who just said thank you? Hey, NHK says, thank you for these streams, Zach. I've been listening to you. I appreciate you so much. I'm glad these streams get through your day. All right. Billie Eilish comes in with $52 million. Congrats to her. Imagine Dragons. Well, I haven't heard from them in a while, but against it, they're still popping out here. $48 million. Okay, cool. Dua Lipa comes in with $44 million. Linkin Park comes in with $36. SZA. Okay, SZA comes in with $34. Let's read this. SZA's ticket to massive earnings in 2025 was co-headlining the Grand National Tour with the number 5 top earning Kendrick Lamar, which from which she took home more than $20 million according to Forbes estimates. In February, the 36-year-old artist won the Grammy for Best R&B Song, Saturn, her 5th career win. What the fuck? Give me a second. 10 a little bit. Okay, Morgan Wallen comes in at number 21 with 33 million. The 32-year-old country star from Sneedville, Tennessee. It looks like all country artists comes from Tennessee, don't they? Apparently, Nashville is like the home, and most of those places, like most of the record labels, have a country music label based in Nashville. Actually, I've heard. First getting recognition on season 6 of The Voice, and is now the second highest earning country act in the world by Forbes count. In May, Morgan Wallen released his fourth studio album, The Problem. Debuted at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, Billboard 200 with 493,000 units sold first week. Second biggest debut of the year behind Taylor Swift, The Life of a Showgirl. Wallen hit the road in June to support the album, visiting 20 stadiums. 20 stadiums and earning $24 million. Okay, there we go. Give me a second. Sorry, chat. Okay. Okay. 22 is Bruno Mars, 31 million. Okay. He did a residency. MGM was paid close to $30 million, and they're saying that's basically most of his money. Okay. They're saying his 3-album catalog still generated $28 million in gross revenue. Okay. There we go. Sabrina Carpenter, $29 million. Oh, wait. Give me 1 second. I want to go back up to the weekend. We're going to come back down to 23. How much did they say the weekend catalog generated? Oh, they didn't say, right? They didn't say. Remember we did the math on how much his catalog should generate per year, and we said we think his catalog should generate about $200 million per year. That's what we said for the weekend. Okay, we'll get back to it. But we get to find out, like Bruno Mars, his catalog generates $28 million. Like we could say that per year, right? Sabrina Carpenter, $29 million. Andre Bocelli, $25 million. Iron Maiden, $25 million, and I believe that's the end of the list. Impressive. Congratulations to all those people. And again, I issue an apology for the people who, I wasn't trying to inject Drake in the mix, but I thought it was overall revenue, and I do know he has a huge gambling contract. Yeah, I see Drake gamble all the time. But, yeah, so once again, we'll go down it. Weekend number 1, Taylor Swift number 2, Beyonce number 3, Kendrick 4, Coldplay 5, Shakira 6, Drake 7, Chris Brown 8, Zach Bryan 9, Bad Bunny 10, Post Malone 11, Ed Sheeran 12, Tyler the Creator 13, Metallica 14, Lady Gaga 15, Billie Eilish 16, Imagine Dragons 17, Dua Lipa 18, Linkin Park 19, SZA 20, 21 is Morgan Wallen, 22 is Bruno Mars, Sabrina Carpenter is 23, 24 is Andrew Bocelli, and then 25 is Iron Maiden. Any surprises if you ask me? I don't know, but it's probably naive of me. Beyonce like literally being in number 3 is a little bit surprised to me. But of course, I'm probably underestimating the fact that she went on this huge tour that was highly successful. Am I surprised by Kendrick? Nah, not necessarily. He went on a very huge, successful tour. Shakira, I didn't know she was still making that much amount of money. Drake, yeah, shit. Drake and Chris Brown are kind of like close. That's dope. All right.